Hello, I'm glad you're here. I'm NatsMan, and I'm reading the Bible from the beginning to the end, from Genesis to Revelations. Please join me in this journey and make God's Word a part of your everyday life. This is video number 82, and today we're reading from the book of Judges, starting in chapter 1. Judges chapter 1. After the death of Joshua, the children of Israel asked the Lord, saying, "Who should go up for us first against the Canaanites to fight against them?" The Lord said, "Judah shall go up. Behold, I have delivered the land into his hand." Judah said to Simeon his brother, "Come up with me into my lot, that we may fight against the Canaanites, and I likewise will go with you into your lot." So Simeon went with him. Judah went up, and the Lord delivered the Canaanites and the Perizzites into their hand. They struck 10,000 men in Bezek. They found Adoni Bezek in Bezek, and they fought against him. They struck the Canaanites and the Perizzites, but Adoni Bezek fled. They pursued him and caught him, and cut off his thumbs and his big toes. Adoni Bezek said, 70 kings, having their thumbs and their big toes cut off, scavenged under my table. As I have done, so God has done to me. They brought him to Jerusalem, and he died there. The children of Judah fought against Jerusalem, took it, struck it with the edge of the sword, and set the city on fire. After that, the children of Judah went down to fight against the Canaanites who lived in the hill country and in the south and in the lowland. Judah went against the Canaanites who lived in Hebron. The name of Hebron before that was Kiriath Arba. They struck Shishia, Ahiman, and Talmai. From there they went against the inhabitants of Debir. The name of Debir before that was Kiriath Sefer. Caleb said, "I will give Achsah, my daughter, as wife to the man who strikes Kiriath Sefer and takes it." Othniel, the son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother, took it. So he gave him Achsah, his daughter, as his wife. When she came, she got him to ask her father for a field. She got off her donkey, and Caleb said to her, "What would you like?" She said to him, "Give me a blessing, because you have set me in the land of the south. Give me also springs of water." Then Caleb gave her the upper springs and the lower springs. The children of Kenite, Moses' brother-in-law, went up out of the city of palm trees with the children of Judah into the wilderness of Judah, which is in the south of Arad, and they went and lived with the people. Judah went with Simeon his brother, and they struck the Canaanites who inhabited Zephath and utterly destroyed it. The name of the city was called Hormah. Also Judah took Gaza with its border, and Ashkelon with its border, and Ekron with its border. The Lord was with Judah and drove out the inhabitants of the hill country. So he could not drive out the inhabitants of the valley, because they had chariots of iron. They gave Hebron to Caleb, as Moses had said, and he drove the 3 sons of Anak out of there. The children of Benjamin didn't drive out the Jebusites who inhabited Jerusalem, but the Jebusites dwell with the children of Jerusalem, the children of Benjamin, in Jerusalem to this day. The house of Joseph also went up against Bethel, and the Lord was with them. The house of Joseph sent a spy out to Bethel. The name of the city before that was Luz. The watchers saw a man come out of the city, and they said to him, "Please show us the entrance into the city, and we will deal kindly with you." He showed them the entrance into the city, and they struck the city with the edge of the sword, but they let the man and all his family go. The man went into the land of the Hittites and built a city, and called its name Luz, which is its name to this day. Manasseh didn't drive out the inhabitants of Beth-shean and its towns, nor Tanakh and its towns, nor the inhabitants of Dor and its towns, nor the inhabitants of Ibleam and its towns, nor the inhabitants of Megiddo and its towns. But the Canaanites would dwell in that land. When Israel had grown strong, they put the Canaanites to forced labor and didn't utterly drive them out. Ephraim didn't drive out the Canaanites who lived in Gezer, but the Canaanites lived in Gezer amongst them. Zebulun didn't drive out the inhabitants of Kitron, nor the inhabitants of Nahalo, but the Canaanites lived amongst them and became subject to forced labor. Asher didn't drive out the inhabitants of Akko, nor the inhabitants of Sidon, nor of Alab, nor of Achzib, nor of Helbah, nor of Apik, nor of Rehob, but the Asherites lived amongst the Canaanites, the inhabitants of the land, for they didn't drive them out. Naphtali didn't drive out the inhabitants of Beth-shemesh, nor the inhabitants of Beth-anath, but he lived amongst the Canaanites, the inhabitants of the land. Nevertheless, the inhabitants of Beth-shemesh and of Beth-anath became subject to forced labor. The Amorites forced the children of Dan into the hill country, for they would not allow them to come down to the valley. But the Amorites would dwell in Mount Heres, in Aijalon, and in Shalbim, until yet the hand of the house of Joseph prevailed, so that they became subject to forced labor. The border of the Amorites was from the ascent of Akrabim from the border and upward. That ends Judges 1. We'll go to Judges 2. The Lord's angel came up from Gilgal to Bochim. He said, I brought you out of Egypt and have brought you to the land which I swore to your fathers. I said, I will never break my covenant with you. You shall make no covenant with the inhabitants of this land. You shall break down their altars, but you have not listened to my voice. Why have you done this? Therefore I also said, I will not drive them out from before you, but they shall be in your sides, and your gods will be a snare to you. Their gods will be a snare to you. When the Lord's angel spoke these words to the children of Israel, the people lifted up their voice and wept. They called the name of that place Bochim, and they sacrificed there to the Lord. Now when Joshua had sent the people away, the children of Israel each went to his inheritance to possess the land. The people served the Lord all the days of Joshua, and all the days of the elders who outlived Joshua, who had seen all the great works of the Lord that he had worked for Israel. Joshua, the son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, died being 110 years old. They buried him in the border of his inheritance in Timnath-Heres, in the hill country of Ephraim, on the north of the mountain of Gaash. After all that generation were gathered to their fathers, another generation arose after them, who didn't know the Lord, nor the work which he had done for Israel. The children of Israel did that which was evil in the Lord's sight, and served the Baals. They abandoned the Lord, the God of their fathers, who brought them out of the land of Egypt, and followed other gods, of the gods of the people who were around them, and bowed themselves down to them. And they provoked the Lord to anger. They abandoned the Lord and served Baal and the Ashtaroth. The Lord's anger burnt against Israel, and he delivered them into the hands of raiders who plundered them. He sold them into the hands of their enemies all around, so that they could no longer stand before their enemies. Wherever they went out, the Lord's hand was against them for evil, as the Lord had spoken, and as the Lord had sworn to them, and they were very distressed. The Lord raised up judges who saved them out of the hand of those who plundered them. Yet they didn't listen to their judges, for they prostituted themselves to other gods and bowed themselves down to them. They quickly turned away from the way in which their fathers walked, obeying the Lord's commandments. They didn't do so. Then the Lord raised up judges for them, and then the Lord was with the judge and saved them out of the hand of their enemies all the days of the judge. For it grieved the Lord because of their groaning by reason of those who oppressed them and troubled them. But when the judge was dead, they turned back and dealt more corruptly than their fathers in following other gods to serve them and to bow down to them. They didn't cease what they were doing or give up their stubborn ways. The Lord's anger burnt against Israel, and he said, "Because this nation transgressed my covenant, which I commanded their fathers, and has not listened to my voice, I also will no longer drive out any of the nations that Joshua left when he died from before them, that by them I may test Israel to see if they will keep the Lord's way to walk therein, as their fathers kept it, or not." So the Lord left those nations without driving them out hastily. He didn't deliver them into Joshua's hand. That was Judges 2, and we will end this video right here. That was the book of Judges, chapters 1 and 2, on video number 82. I would like to thank you for joining me in this project, this endeavor to read the entire Bible. I hope you enjoy listening to as much as I enjoy reading it to you. Please feel free to comment if you so desire, and also please subscribe and give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If this is your first visit to NatsMan Reads the Bible, I'm leaving a link in the description down below to the intro video that explains what we're trying to accomplish here and how to go back and start at the beginning if you'd like. I hope you come back for the next video. And until then, thank you. Have a blessed day. I'm NatsMan, and I'm out.